On Global TV News Prime, President Bola Tinubu signs 2026 Electoral Act Amendment Bill into law. In business, federal government to convene a national retreat to solve Nigeria's persistent electricity crisis. On the foreign scene, South Sudan's children trapped in new conflict. And in sports, Super Falcons to face Cameroon ahead of 2026 Women African Cup of Nations tournament. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mokhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. And now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has signed the Electoral Act 2026 amendment into law just days after the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) released the timetable for the 2027 general elections. The signing took place at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, around 5 p.m. on Wednesday, with principal officers of the National Assembly in attendance. The National Assembly had passed the bill on Tuesday. The amendment reignites debate over the electronic transmission of election results. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has called on Christians and Muslims to use the rare convergence of Lent and Ramadan, both of which begin on the same day this year, as an opportunity to promote peace, unity, and national stability. In a personally signed statement, the president described the simultaneous commencement of the two sacred seasons as uncommon. Tinubu added that it serves as a reminder that Nigerians of both faiths share much in common and are one people under God. Muslims in Nigeria have joined their counterparts around the world to begin the Ramadan fast. This followed the announcement of the sighting of the crescent moon by Saudi authorities. In this report, Global Television correspondent Shehu Said takes a look at the significance of the Ramadan fast and what is expected of fasting Muslims.
The Ramadan fast is the third pillar of Islam, ordained in the second year after Hijrah, the migration from Mecca to Medina. Fasting in Islam is the abstinence from eating and drinking from dawn to sunset during the month of Ramadan, the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, as contained in chapter 2, verse 183 to 185 of the glorious Quran. This act of worship and obedience to Allah comes with its conditions as enumerated by an Islamic scholar, Sheikh Yakubu Muhammad Kazim.
First and foremost, you must be a Muslim. Secondly, you must be of sound mind, which means if you have some element of insanity, you are not allowed to fast. So if you are sick, you are not allowed to fast. Like women now that are menstruating. If you are a menstruating woman, you are not allowed to fast.
What then is expected of the fasting Muslim?
What is expected of you is to study the Quran very well, forgive, forget.
Sheikh Yakubu Kazim also highlights the spiritual benefits of the Ramadan fast.
It is in this Ramadan that we have a night that is bigger than 1,000 nights. It is in this Ramadan that destiny is shaping.
Apart from spiritual benefits, what health benefits does the fasting Muslim derives? Dr. Nwala Chuks is a medical practitioner.
Fasting can prevent us from putting on so much weight. So as we are not putting on so much weight, some of these disease conditions like hypertension, like diabetes and all that, we are avoiding them indirectly.
With both benefits, spiritual and health, Muslims are expected to be more dedicated in acts of worship during the Ramadan to reap the blessings it comes with, as it is an opportunity that comes only once in a year. Shehu Said, reporting for Global Television News.
Meanwhile, as Muslims begin this year's Ramadan fast, the immediate past president of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawan, has distributed food items to residents across the 17 local government areas of Yobe State. Global Television correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the gesture is aimed at supporting vulnerable families during the holy month of Ramadan.
17,000 bags of assorted food items laid out, ready for distribution to Muslim faithfuls across Yobe State. The initiative by Senator Ahmad Lawan is part of efforts to complement both federal and state government intervention in easing hardship during the Ramadan period.
We are here to distribute the Ramadan items from Senator Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan. As you all aware, Senator Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan has been representing us in the Senate since 2007 to date. Throughout this period, whenever an event occurs in his constituency, whether joyful or sorrowful, he will be present in person or send a delegation or message.
Handing over the items on behalf of the Senator, the National Secretary of the Tinubu House-to-House Network, Bashir Sharif, explained that each local government area will receive 1,000 bags of rice for onward distribution to residents.
More than 17,000. So if you estimate the 17,000, at least each local government has 1,000 beneficiaries. We are calling our politicians and businessmen to copy this initiative of Senator Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan.
Beneficiaries who expressed appreciation for the support described Senator Lawan as a leader who has remained committed to assisting poor and vulnerable not only in Yobe State but across the country.
No, Ahmad Ibrahim Lawan is a gentleman and kind. Every year he used to distribute Ramadan package to people, irrespective of religion or gender discrimination and everything. As you can see, we are females, we are included. You can see, you can bear witness. So it's not only males that will benefit with this distribution. We also call upon in order to come and participate in this kind of program whenever he is doing.
We are here to make a distribution of Ramadan package given by our political mentor or our political godfather, that is distinguished Senator Ahmad Ibrahim Lawan, as all the time.
Meanwhile, organizers say the Ramadan food distribution is only one of several planned interventions, as Tinubu House-to-House Network assures that more support will reach Muslim faithfuls nationwide during the Ramadan fasting period. Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
In a related development, Christians in Imo State have joined believers worldwide to observe Ash Wednesday, marking the beginning of the Lent season with prayers and reflection. At the Government House Chapel in Owerri, government officials and worshippers gathered to observe the solemn service attended by the Governor of the state. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
The Government House Chapel Owerri was filled with worshippers who assembled for the Ash Wednesday service, which ushers Christians into 40 days period of Lent. Participating in the Holy Mass, Governor Hope Uzodinma took the first lesson from the second letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians and joined the congregation in praying for peace and continual progress in the state.
So that in Him we might become the righteousness of God, walking together with Him. Then we entreat you not to accept the grace of God in vain. For He says, at a acceptable time, I've listened to you and helped you on the day of salvation. Behold, now is the acceptable time. Behold, now is the day of salvation.
Delivering the homily, Government House Chaplain, Reverend Father Gilbert Alaribe called on Christians to embrace repentance, humility, and spiritual renewal, describing Lent as a season for sober reflection and renewed commitment to God and service to humanity.
The first lesson can be taken from the words the priest will say to us while signing us with the ashes. The priest says, remember man, remember woman, you are dust, and unto dust you shall return. And the Lenten season invites us to remember this truth about your life and my life, even in the midst of all our plans, all our aspirations, all our efforts to establish ourselves in our world.
The service featured the traditional imposition of ashes on worshippers, symbolizing repentance and reminding believers of life's transient nature. The observer set the tone for weeks of spiritual reflection and renewed faith among Christians across the state. From Government House, Owerri, I'm Marachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Let's now head to Benue State, where the All Progressive Congress has distributed election materials to the 276 council wards of the state for the party's ward and local council congress, marking the commencement of the congresses in the state. Felicity Ndere reports.
The All Progressive Congress, APC, in Benue State has commenced its ward congresses across the 276 council wards, assuring a seamless process. Chairman of the All Progressive Congress Ward and Local Government Congress Benue State conducted the disbursement exercise and addressed local council chairmen and returning officers.
Yesterday we conducted a screening successfully and we handed over this form for Congress successfully without any problem. I'm thinking good thing will come out.
He emphasized that the success of the exercise will further reconciliation even at grassroots and strengthening the APC for victory.
Everybody with his registration, APC registration membership card and other things, everything, all criteria, they pull all the criteria and they participate fully, actively in the Congress. Thank you very much. I was sent from national headquarters to witness this Congress, and this Congress was successful. There's no any issue.
Chairman of the APC in Benue State, Benjamin Omale, and the State Organizing Secretary, James Ongoga, urged party supporters to be orderly and ensure that they comply with the regulations of the National Working Committee of the ruling party.
The security is guaranteed. The Excellency Executive Governor of Benue State ensure that adequate security is provided to ensure heat-free operation throughout the whole 23 local government. Yeah, this has to go in line with the NWC guidelines.
The national electoral committees from our national headquarters who are in the state to conduct the ward and local government congresses that will usher in new executives at the ward and the local government in our party. And the committees, we have 4 in number. One was the screening committee, another the screening appeal committee. We have the ward and local government congress committee, and then an appeal committee that is going to look into any issue that will arise from the world congresses that we are conducting today.
This, they say, is a pivotal for APC's grassroots democracy, emphasizing that the congresses are not just an exercise, but they are the very heartbeat of a collective aspiration, forming the foundation which will continue to deliver the dividends of democracy to every Benue citizens. At the APC Secretariat in Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Back in Abuja, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, has inaugurated a high-level committee to oversee the equipping and operationalization of the multipurpose laboratories in selected public tertiary institutions across Nigeria. The inauguration ceremony took place at the TETFund boardroom in Abuja. Education correspondent Priscilla Obasi now reports.
The committee is expected to develop a comprehensive technical roadmap for the procurement and installation of state-of-the-art laboratory equipment aimed at strengthening research infrastructure in Nigeria's tertiary education system. The initiative follows a recent allocation of 13 billion naira by the federal government, specifically earmarked for the establishment and furnishing of central multipurpose laboratories. At the inauguration, Executive Secretary of TETFund, Sonny Echono, said the project is designed to address long-standing gaps in research facilities and reduce the need for Nigerian scholars to travel abroad for specialized laboratory analysis.
For the records, the committee that recommended the establishment of these centers actually have a list of equipment recommended. But as we know, we are living in times of rapid obsolescence, and the technology field is very disruptive. There are also changes. Technology is impacting teaching and learning and research in more ways than we can imagine. So there will be need for a constant review.
Etono also noted that beyond infrastructure provision, the committee has been mandated to develop a sustainability framework for training laboratory technicians and ensuring proper maintenance of the equipment. The committee includes representatives from the National Universities Commission, National Board for Technical Education, the Federal Ministry of Education, as well as scholars and industry experts. Members of the committee have been tasked with conducting needs assessment across institutions, ensuring procurement meets international standards, and guiding distribution of equipment based on research specializations such as biotechnology, mechatronics, and renewable energy. The inauguration marks another step in ongoing efforts by TED Fund and the federal government to modernize Nigeria's research ecosystem and strengthen the capacity of tertiary institutions to produce solutions that address national development challenges. Priscilla Obasi, reporting for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecasts plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Step outside and you'll feel it instantly. The air is dusty. The Federal Capital Territory and most parts of the country are currently under the noticeable dust haze. And up north, the concentration is even heavier. So heading into Thursday, the story doesn't change. The dust stay with us. We're expecting thick dust haze across the northern cities, especially in Borno, Adamawa, Jigawa, Gombe, Bauchi, Katsina, and Kano State. Visibility could drop to 1,000 meters or even less. That means hazy skies, reduced visibility, and extra caution for flight operators to check the NIMET e-flight folder portal for proper planning. And also anyone spending long hours outdoors. Across the north-central region, moderate dust haze would dominate, while inland southern cities will still experience slight hazy conditions. But that's not all. By afternoon, we're watching out for thunderstorms over parts of Ondo, Ogun, Bayelsa, Cross River, and River State. So while some areas battle dust, others could hear rumbles of thunder later in the day. It's a mix of haze and storms. So stay alert, drive carefully, and keep those umbrellas close if you are in the south. I am Akani Samarda.
In business, the president and chairman of the Dangote Industries Limited, Aliko Dangote, has called on the federal government to urgently convene a national retreat to resolve Nigeria's persistent electricity crisis. He warned that widespread power outages could undermine the country's industrialization drive and economic growth. Dangote made the appeal at the official launch of the National Industrial Policy 2025 in Abuja, themed From Policy to Productivity, implementing Nigeria's industrial future. The policy emerged against the backdrop of a weak manufacturing sector, which due to poor electricity supply, high production cost, limited access to finance, infrastructure deficit, and heavy reliance on import, has been constrained. On the foreign scene, the United Nations International Children's Education Fund, UNICEF, says there are currently more than 2 million displaced people in South Sudan. The United Nations agency said an estimated 60% of these children are orphans, a figure believed to be incomprehensible. Zara Unasir reports.
South Sudan gained independence in 2011, but soon descended into civil war between two rebel generals, Salva Kiir and Riek Machar. A 2018 power-sharing deal brought relative peace, with Kiir as president and Machar his deputy. But the agreement has already built over the first year. This middle-aged man, who requested anonymity, provides an insight into the situation.
Any person who is not a soldier is vulnerable, so we don't have a gun to protect ourselves. We just sitting as a civilian. So as we speak now, we don't have option. Only God we just pray, so God will not protect us.
Samuel is general surgeon and director at Akobo Hospital. He described the talent at the health facility.
I'm the only surgeon managing all these patients, and previously ICRC used to come, and in case of mass casualty they come and help us here. But currently I think they have not given access by government in Juba to come to assist us in this mass casualty.
Fighting in Jonglei State between the army under Kir and forces loyal to Machar has displaced some 280,000 people since December, according to the United Nations. Zahra Unasr reporting for Global TV.
And now to sports. Nigeria's Super Falcons are set to face the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in 2 friendly matches as part of preparations ahead of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations scheduled for Morocco. Both teams will clash in Yaoundé on February 28 and March 3. In a statement, Mohamed Sanusi, the Nigerian Football Federation General Secretary, noted that the federation was committed to ensuring proper preparations for the tournament. As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, let's take a look at our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has signed the Electoral Act 2026 amendment into law just days after the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) released the timetable for the 2027 general elections. In business, the president and chairman of the Dangote Industries Limited, Aliko Dangote, has called on the federal government to urgently convene a national retreat to resolve Nigeria's persistent electricity crisis. On the foreign scene, the United Nations International Children's Education Fund, UNICEF, says there are currently more than 2 million displaced people in South Sudan. And in sport, you heard that Nigeria's Super Falcons are set to face the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon in 2 friendly matches as part of preparations ahead of the 2026 Women African Cup of Nations in Morocco. That's it on News Prime. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365. On StarTimes, it is channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms, now showing on your screen, using our Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.